Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Just waiting for the internet to catch up with me. If you are here live, please say hello. If you are watching live, please say hello in the comments. And what's fun is sometimes when you guys say where you're coming from, it's fun for me to see that there's people even international sometimes. There's sometimes people in a different state. We have people joining us, and even if you're on the replay, tell us where you're at. Hey, Christy, so good to have you here. So good. Let me switch my screen so I can see my notes. We're going to dive right in, guys. This is all things summer. And if you have a question for me during the class, I'm learning how to see my comments a little bit better. And I'll tell you, allergies are in full swing at my house. All the things are blooming, and so if I itch my nose and touch my face, just cut me a little slack, okay? Like, oh my gosh. Anyone else having allergies? Am I the only one? Oh. So my eyes, I suffer from dry eye and the allergies, and like we've got smoke in the air from California, and it is like the perfect storm. And so my eyes are sensitive and my face is like, ah. But I want to teach this class, and I'm really excited to teach this class. Just know that if I'm wiggling around and my eyeballs feel like they're puffy, they are. It just is, okay? It just is. All right, so all things summer. For those of you that don't know me, if you're new to the group, I'm Robin Whitworth. Very much you are a very real mom. Hence the week-long dirty hair and the hat and sporting my kids' high school logo t-shirt, all the things. You are welcome here. Come as you are. Today we're talking about summer. School's out in a couple of weeks for most of us. Some people it goes into June. And what I've learned as a mom of 5 that is an intentional mom, and what I love about creating this community is all the moms in here are intentional. And what I mean by that is you care. Like, you really have the bandwidth. You've created a life where you care about how you're showing up for your kids. You care how you're showing up for your spouse, your partner. You care how you're showing up as your best self. You are an intentional Christian mom. And people don't join this group when they can't even fathom. They just are like, I don't identify with what you're doing here. Trying to have more in life and abundance. Like, I don't understand that. So they don't join the group. But everyone that is in here, this is you. You're intentional. You're seeing summer. This has been on your horizon for a couple of weeks already. You've likely already thought about summer because swimming lesson signups were already a week ago and dance lessons were a month ago. Like, it's so interesting, right? That like our world, and in America especially, we are so like, we must have these things going all the time. Go. Hey, Amy, good morning. And I loved a lot of the things you guys put in the comments of the posts that I've been making leading up to this class this week. So helpful. So helpful. If you guys want to have specific things touched on, ask specific questions in this group. And when I make a post about what we're talking about, ask your specific stuff, share your specific needs or whatever in that post. And I will look at them and I'm like, okay, this is the direction that I can take this class. These are the things that I've learned. And it's not that I'm God. I know everything. It's that I am a master life coach for moms. I've done the work, done the study deep in this area to improve myself over the last it's been 12 years since I started my journey of being like, no, this is not how this story is going to play out anymore. I was a very fear-filled being. I was a yeller. I was a spanker. I was a wife that held resentment and fear towards my spouse, like unconsciously, but I now know those were the symptoms. Those were the things. Those are the causes that were causing the symptoms of all these things in my life I was experiencing. Feeling judged, feeling on display, feeling scarcity around money and about my possibilities and all of those things. And I said, no, I see people doing life differently. I'm going to figure this out. And I have come all around to now I've got this where I'm like, I got to share what I know because I'm around the block. I hear women talking in restaurants. I see women talking at the playground. I go to the schools. I hear what people are saying and I hear the words. I feel the feels of these women that say phrases and are feeling things that I used to feel. And so I know that not everybody has figured out what I've learned to live more peacefully, have more joy, and just feel abundant and full and satisfied a lot of the time. And most women that I talk to that say, Robin, what are you doing? Like, it looks fun. Your life looks fun. Like, how do you do that? Let me teach you. So in this group, I teach the principles. I have programs where you can hire me to be your coach and we go through different stuff for specific outcomes you're looking for. And we can talk about that if you're like, oh, I'm ready to up level. I'm done with this story. Let's write a different story. Then let's do the thing. Today we're talking about summer. So what I'm sharing with you today is mostly as a mom of 5 going through all of this with a different mindset. I've gone this. These are the things I know I have shifted for our summers to not be a chaotic melting pot of all the things only to have September come and go, did we waste our summer? And if you live in Idaho or anywhere north of like Arizona, these are the best months of the year. Like, this is the best weather. It's the best availability. Like, this is just, it's so fun. It is so fun to just, everything's on the table, right? So that's what I'm sharing today. And Jenny's here, Mary's here. You guys are so good. So some of the topics you guys brought up, and if there's other ones that you're like, oh, Robin, touch on this, put them in the comments. Tell me as many times as you need to. Like, I had a question. You can, what's easy to do that, and I do this with my clients too when we have group sessions, just put a 1 in the chat, because then if I'm scrolling through, I can easily see that like someone had a question, and then I can like look for your name and find what your question was. So what I have on doc today, I have a list of 5, I think I have 5 things on this list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 specific, like all-encompassing tips to just help you have a really good summer. And then I have like ideas of things people like, you know, how do I do this with a toddler and a newborn? Or what are some of the snacks you have on, right? Those are things that they can differ greatly between families based on food allergies, you know, your finances, you know, so I will share what we do that works really, really well, that I've seen work well year after year after year with 5 kids, girls and boys. We've got food allergies. We've got all sorts of stuff. I'll share those specifics. So I'm going to start with the tips that I have for you already. And I can also make this into like a little document if you guys would love to like have a printable, or you could just maybe stick it on your mirror to remind you of these things that are more you based. Because if you're taking notes, this is the first tip of the day. Let's just dive into the first tip of the day. Your degree of presence. And if you're one of my clients, you hear this all the time. Yay, Nikki's here. Cleaning your pool. I need a pool. I need to live where a pool is practical. Okay, first tip of the day, your presence. Be present every single day this summer as much as possible. Because if you're present in every day, like, what are we going to do today? Take that time when you're laying in your bed in the morning, breathe, become body aware. This is the fastest way to come into presence, is to become body aware, because your body is always here. Your body is always here. You guys that have watched a lot of these classes, you've probably heard this before. If you're brand new here, take note. Your body is always here. It's always right now. It lives in real time. We can take lessons from our body. A lot of times it teaches us when we've been out of presence, because it starts breaking down. It starts having dis-ease. It starts struggling. When we come into body awareness, and I close my eyes because that's what I do, and I take deep breaths, like 3 to 5 deep breaths, like into my belly. And I breathe it all out. And I think about my toes and my legs, my thighs, my butt and my back and my belly and my chest and my shoulders, my arms, my hands, my neck, into my head, my face. And then I go back down. And I think, what are my intentions today? And I do that before I get up, for sure. And what's interesting is I do that to go to sleep as well. I'll settle into my bed, I read my book maybe, and I turn off my light and I sit there and I do the same thing. I bring myself into presence to sleep. And it helps a lot, my friends. If you struggle to turn your brain off, do this. Because our brain goes forward and backward and forward and backward, because it's wired to help us live. So it wants to remember what was hard or painful or suffering. It wants to have things to look forward to. It wants to have good memories so that we can bring forth, like, when I'm having a rough time, what do I know? What evidence do I have to feel better in this time? It will conjure memories for us of good feelings, right? Oh, well, we had a dopamine boost or an oxytocin boost here. Oh, going out with friends. Oh, going out to that restaurant with my husband. Oh yeah, we went to the lake. Like, your brain starts to do that. It's amazing. Okay. So coming into presence, this is your first number one tip. Every day is going to already change your summer. It's going to change your summer, because it's when we sit there and go, oh, in 2 days I've got a soccer game. So that means, and all of a sudden your 3-year-old that's sitting there, they know mom's not with me. She's 2 days ahead with brother, thinking about who's taking that ride. Now, I'm not saying we can't be prepared. It's just to the degree with which you do that all the time. Can you just go, oh yeah, we've got soccer games at 2 on Friday. I've already made note of that. Coming back. Come back. And so the degree of your presence daily, and this takes practice. You guys have likely maybe had an experience where you're sitting there doing something, and all of a sudden your brain goes, wow, I've been off in la la land. Maybe you're listening to maybe your kid's presentation, or, these days we have this phone and we'll pull it out and do all sorts of stuff that is not, we are not present. We're not present at the soccer game. I would love to offer you guys up the opportunity to put the phone away and to actually give yourself phone time, just like you want to give yourselves screen time. This is a big tip here. This is a tip. It's not the next tip, but if you're worried about screen time and boundaries with that, with your kids, check yourself. I'm not even kidding. Check yourself. When you say, we're going to support sister at her gymnastics meet, and you sit on your phone, and then you get irritated at your child because they want to run around the whole building. Dude, you have just displayed, you are modeling to them that it doesn't matter if we're not present. I'm letting that sit with you guys, because I see it, I do it, we all struggle with this. This phone it is power. Man, it has changed what we've been able to do. It's also changed what we've been able to do. Okay, there's virtue and vice here. This phone has allowed us to be more on time, if possible. It's also allowed us to overschedule ourselves. This phone becomes this thing where if we don't have it, we don't even know what we're doing in some people's lives. If you need to take some practice of like putting the phone down and telling yourself, I know what I'm doing for the next hour. I don't care if my mom texts me, and I don't care if Aunt Jo needs this thing. You got to have boundaries, or you will always be in reactive mode. You will always be in flight or fight mode instead of your parasympathetic, which is where your body heals, where you can think clearly, you can be present. If you're in fight or flight all the time, worried about if someone's going to text you and worried about if you've missed a call and worried about how many emails you got to hurry and delete, guys, this is the thing. If you consistently have your phone in moments when you truly desire to be present, there's nothing more heartbreaking to a young child than mom says, yeah, we're going to go to your game. He looks over when he just made the best pass of his life, and you're like this. It doesn't cut it to look up every 10 minutes and say, oh, hey, honey. That doesn't cut it, you guys. It doesn't. If your child has problems with screen time, if your child has problems with staying present in what they're doing, you've modeled that for them. I guarantee it. You've modeled that for them. So take a note on this. If you want the best summer ever, and your summers have been very reactive, it may take some weeks to do this, but I promise it will bless your children. It will bless your life personally to stay present, to give yourself boundaries on your own screen. Seriously. Say, I will scroll because that's fun. We want to see what our friends are doing. Social media is fun. This is social. Give yourself a time and stick to it. Seriously, you guys. Seriously. Becoming more present in your moments will change your life forever. Forever. I'm spending the most time on this because it is everything. When you get more present, you're better with your budget. When you get more present, you're better with your kids' schedule. When you get more present, you're better with your self-care. When you get more present, everything is possible. It's when we're not present that we are using our energy on all the things that do not matter today. And all of a sudden we go to bed saying, how come I didn't go drop off that check? We have to do it tomorrow now. And all of a sudden your days become reactive to everything. You're just putting out fires. Instead of, this is what I'm doing today, and this is actually what you do. And you end the night going, that's where I live right now. Of course, we have unexpected things, but because I'm present most of the day, an unexpected thing goes, okay, the end. It's not, well, now because of this, and like, I used to even say that to my children. Well, because you got sick at school, I couldn't go do that thing. And so now it's pushed off to tomorrow. So I'm feeling stressed because you got sick at school. All of a sudden, their tummy ache is causing me suffering, and they're taking responsibility for my feelings and my stress. Poor kid. They've now been modeled that at their young age, they're responsible for adult feelings. I used to say that. Because you got up in the night, I'm grumpy today. Because you did this, I'm this way. Guys, not helpful, not resourceful, it's just not. But your degree of presence can stop that, like fast. Because you go, I'm in control of my feelings. I am. You're in control of yourself. I decide what kind of energy I'm going to go to the school, pick up my kid with, come home. And more often than not now, I just pick them up. We go home in the car. They go down to their bed, and I just continue on with my day. There's nothing, you know what I mean? And I know for some people that seems so crazy, but that is. So that is tip number 1. Come into presence, preferably before the start of every day. And then as often as you need to through the day, come back, come back, come back, come back, come back. Be present in what you're doing. That means you don't post on your stories as much. Good. If that means you don't text great Aunt Joe at every day at 2 o'clock, let her know. I'm not dead. I'm actually just being more present with my kids this afternoon. Thank you for understanding. The end. You know, like really look at what's taking up your days. And if all of it is what you really want, this is your intention. Okay. Tip number 2, self-care, taking care of you. Too many times the moms get, oh, I have all the kids here. There's this story they're telling. The kids are all here. This means all sorts of things. They tell this story, then they project it out. And so it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because all the kids are here, I have to clean more. Because the kids are all here, I can't schedule anything. Because the kids are all here, I'm short on money. Because the kids are all here. And we tell these stories. Become aware if there's a story about yourself. Where are you in this story? Where are you? Can you go take a massage? Get a massage for yourself now that there's no more school carpool? Can you have them go play at the neighbors for a couple hours and go get a pedicure and then take a nap in your car or listen to your favorite book on Audible, just laying there doing nothing? Being present spills over into being present for you. Where are you in your story? This isn't all of this is happening and I have to make it happen. Where are you in the story? I'm doing these things. At 9 o'clock, and it doesn't have, you don't have to do it at 9 o'clock. It might be in the morning. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to go, pay that bill over there. And I'm going to take the kids to the park at this time. We're going to run to swimming lessons at this time. And when you think about your day and you think about being, in that present moment, you can say, okay, there's a break from like 2 to 4. Let's see if the kids want to do their screens, whatever. I'm going to go read my book. And I'm going to make myself a smoothie. Kids will probably ask for some. How can I think about this? What would I prefer that happens in this moment? More often than not, the kids are away doing something else if they're, over the age of like 4 or 5. And they don't even care what you're doing. They really don't. And if they're very, very young, I loved to just plan the stuff that I loved and see how much they could do with me. It wasn't about playing Play-Doh for hours. It was about, ooh, I haven't played Play-Doh for a long time. I'm going to make a little duck over here. And I get into that. Climb into their camp with them and be present in that moment. And then when you don't want to be present anymore with them because it's not what you got to do that day, you just say, hey guys, mom's going to go lay down over here. You guys can lay down with me, but you have to be quiet, Let's all read books for the next little bit. You can set a timer on your phone if they don't know how to tell time. But if they do know how to tell time, you say, hey, at 2 o'clock, the quiet time's over or whatever. Just practice with these things and see how the kids do. And if you've never been so present and intentional, just remember that it takes time. It really, really does. But taking care of you, get yourself on your budget, get present with yourself, because when you're present with yourself, that enables your best version of yourself to be there the majority of the time. Now, this goes into tip number 3. Make a list of who you want to be this summer. Don't make a list yet of the things you want to do this summer. Who do you want to be? Because you could go to a class that talks about, how do you show up as a mom? Well, I go to their soccer games and I make dinner for them and I put them to bed at night and I'm I'm doing all the things. But if you're the mom that's doing all the things and she's on her phone and she's grumpy and she's reactive, she's creating an unsafe environment for that child, which happens. This happens. However, it doesn't have to be that way. Who are you being? If you were to make a list, when I'm my best mother, when I'm my best mother, who am I being? Am I happy? Am I compassionate? Am I soft spoken? Who am I being? So you say, who do I want to be this summer? I want to be fun. I want to have energy. All of a sudden, it's like, if I'm going to do that, I better have some, I'll probably need to exercise each day. I know it brings my energy. I'm going to, who do I want to be this summer? I do want to be the fun mom. I do want to be present. What does that mean? If I'm being a present mom, if I'm being a fun mom, who am I being? And all of a sudden it's, yes, we go to swimming lessons, but when I'm being my best mom, I'm the mom at the swimming lessons that's sitting on the thing, just watching my kid, really enjoying it. I'm not on my phone. And all of a sudden, when I get there in that moment, if I've thought about this, I just don't get out my phone. I let it be and I be present and watch my child and watch the teacher and think about being present. Like we do swimming lessons a lot of time in an outdoor pool. And I just like, man, I'm sitting here in the sunshine and this is just so fun that I get to take an hour to watch my kids swim, learn a life-saving skill. And I got to enable this. This is so cool. And I sit in there. If I had just sat and plopped on my phone, I would never have had any of that gratitude, none of that good vibe, oxytocin boosting type thoughts. These things matter to your health. Like, make a list of who you want to be this summer. When you're your best self, when you're your best mom, what kind of things are you feeling? What do you wear when you're your best self? And then you can say, what am I doing? When I'm being my best mom, what do I do? Make these lists, you guys. How am I being? How do I show up? And what am I doing? What are the things I actually want to do? Am I exercising every day? Am I taking the kids on a walk? Do we go to the lake? And then this is tip number 4. Have a family council. If your kids are over the age of 3, I suggest sitting with them and saying, hey, we don't have the structure of school anymore. Everybody, now for us, this is a group of 7. So it's like, everybody, like, what do you want to do this summer? Let's have some ideas. Let's throw it out. Let's vote on it. And if this is a new experience for you guys, have a lot of grace. We do it a lot now. So the kids are very familiar with sitting there, allowing people to talk. We've done this for years. It's so awesome because when everyone has talked about what they'd like to see this summer and mom brings up things like screen time, like, hey guys, we all know studies show us that being on screens for X amount of hours per day isn't healthy. And as your mom that would love to raise healthy humans, because I desire your happiness, and I know you do as well, we can't be on screens all day. This is just not a thing. So this is the proposed thing I would like to do. And this is where you go into Facebook groups with moms and say, hey, what do you guys do with screen time? I'd like some ideas of what's working. What ages are your kids and what do you do? If screen time is a thing. And this was one of the things that people brought up in the comments, right? And we did this and our kids came up with a great solution. And to this day, we've had the same screen time rules now for the last 3 summers. The kids do well with it. They came up with it. That's the beauty of this. Mom is no longer the bad guy. Mom is no longer the one creating sadness. And I don't have guilt anymore because they set their own boundary on it. I'd be like, you guys picked it. And if a couple weeks in, it's clearly not working, we will call them all together again and say, hey, we said this, but clearly it's not working. I'm seeing this, this, and this. What are we going to do about it? Solutions. And kids get very resourceful because they want their screen time. They'll be like, okay, well, and as they've gotten older, they actually have really good answers. They're like, well, mom, I think it's because of this. And I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. Have a family council, ask the kids what they want to do over the summer, address the screen time and boundaries, like make a suggested schedule together. I've shared with you a couple posts ago about time blocking, like, hey, maybe in the morning we do more creative time, but maybe in your neighborhood, that's when all the kids are out. And you don't want to do that until maybe some of the other kids are more gone doing activities. Do your creative time in the afternoon, or, I don't know how it's going to work for you, but little time blocks have worked really, really well for my children. They just kind of know, they don't follow it exactly, but they know the morning is typically that creative time. It's when they do their chore. We voted as a family. Hey, we all live here. Mom's not the one getting pee on the toilet seat. We're going to rotate. We have a rotating thing with chores. Like, they have a chore they do every morning. And then once a week, we do deeper cleaning on Saturday. Saturday morning, they know they have a list. I have a chore binder where I list what they're doing, what each kid is doing. And then I have pages that list the job description. And it works though, because they no longer wonder if they're doing it right? And the younger ones, I will, assign them things that they can do. But they know this, that every day, Monday through Thursday, they have a chore to do. Friday, we call Free Job Friday. That works really great in our family. Fridays is like Fun Friday. We have pizza. I don't cook. It is like my kids' favorite day. They love Friday. They love Friday so much. Highly suggest doing that. It's really fun for us. Saturday, we clean in the morning and then do fun family activities. Sunday, we do church. We do Zoom cleanups. I'll explain what that is. But have a family council. Create a list of things they want to do over the summer. So it's not you having to plan stuff, and hope that your kids want to do that. Create a list of summer fun things that you want to do and put them on a calendar. I suggest getting like a big paper calendar and printing it out and actually putting it on there, and then put them in your phone so they actually happen. Like, yes, Christy, we're with you on the Fridays. And what I like to do is every Sunday, this works for our family because nobody works on Sunday. If this is not your rest day, pick whatever day it works for you. But Sundays, I'll look at my calendar and I go through each day of the week. And this is what I'm doing. I like to pre-look at my week and just be like, this is what I'm doing this week. And I do it very much week by week, day by day, sometimes hour by hour on, what I'm doing and what's on the schedule. This way, if you've done the family council, it's a group effort. And again, this really reduces mom guilt. This reduces you having to put all this energy out. And guys, kids are so capable. My kids start doing chores when they're 3. They start doing chores that are like the bathroom, dishes, mopping when they're 7. They do their own laundry completely by age 8 for sure. A lot of moms worry that their kids aren't capable, or they're going to feel like slaves, or their life is so hard they can't do chores. But my friend, this is me preaching my belief system a little bit, but I had roommates in college that were embarrassed that they didn't know how to do their laundry. They were embarrassed that they couldn't cook for themselves. Like, this is a thing. So if you want your kids living with you forever and you're going to take care of them and you're going to take care of their children, and maybe this is already a pattern in your family, but I have seen it to be very emotionally empowering to teach your children how to do these things. Like, this is very much a skill that has been proven in many studies. And I have a useful YouTube video on the value of chores for children. You read books about human grit and success, and they mention this. One of the hallmark correlations with successful human beings that live happy lives, that are not depressed or suicidal, a lot of them, there's a direct correlation, not everybody, a direct correlation between kids that had chores, that says that also follows along with being successful adults. And it's just teach them these skills. It takes time. Cherie says, do you have a resource where we came up with a chore binder and instructions? Yes, I actually do. I created a whole chore binder system with a video class, like a 3-part video class of how to do a family council, what a family council agenda looks like, how to create a rotating chore system. how to create a chore binder. I think it's $27. If you guys are interested in that, you can drop chore binder into the chat here and I can send you the link to get those downloads if you want my system. So that's something that I do have. Tip number 5, and this is the fun one, is creating a list for you personally. So if you've lost track of the tips, the first one is work on your daily presence, because if you're present every day, you don't waste any time. Number 2, taking care of you, making sure you're on the budget, making sure you're on the schedule, like present for yourself. Number 3, make a list of who you want to be and a list of what you want to do. How are you being? What are you doing? What's happening when you're your best self? And number 4, get the family together, find out what they want to do. Set boundaries on things together. Number 5, create a list for yourself. Like really, like, are you going to read a book this summer? Do you want to do a craft? Do you want to take a watercolor class? Are you going to schedule a friend's lunch? You're going to get a massage maybe for the first time ever? You're going to go get a pedicure? Your presence will allow you to see that these things don't take too much time and the investment in yourself is way overdue. Like, put yourself on your budget this summer. Gift yourself that and receive it. Don't do it begrudgingly. Receive it. So I'm giving myself the gift of presence this summer. I'm going to do a few things for myself and accept it. Receive it. That you can give yourself a beautiful time. A lot of times when people come to me and they have self-belief issues or self-doubt, they haven't done this for a long time. They haven't given themselves beautiful gifts of reading the book, of going and getting the pedicure, the gift of just knowing that you exist as an individual first, before marriage, before kids. Do some things for you. I found at least once a month, if not every other week, to really dive in and do something for me. Go get your nails done, get the pedicure, and see it as a gift to yourself. Like, I'm taking this time. I'm using some of this money that we have from energetic exchange. I'm exchanging it with this person for this experience. Receive it into yourself. A lot of people will do it like, I have to do this thing. And it's like, receive it. Receive it as the gift that it is. So those are my 5 tips. Now I'd like to go over some of the specific, like I said, things that other people brought up about, the house gets really messy. The thing that we do a lot that works really, really well is called Zoom time cleanups. These can happen in the middle of the day when you if you work from home like me, or you go to work and you come home and the house is just like totally different. Kids left the blanket on the couch and they left the iPad plugged in over there. And there's a cup and a bowl sitting next to the gaming chair. And I mean, is this your home? Anybody? Like, there's socks. The shoes are right next to the shoe bin. There's just, wrappers, and the dishes from breakfast are still there at 4 p.m. And you're just like, okay. What I love to do in those moments is, number 1, recognize that the goal of the clean home is actually mine. So I take ownership of that, first of all. And I'm like, okay, it's me that's bothered by all of this, not the kids. They actually aren't bothered by this. I take ownership of that feeling in that moment. But I'll just say, guys, everybody, I have something to say. And honestly, they all come, little chickens. But I think I've earned their trust over the years of sticking to things and not being reactive, right? Like, guys, come here, please. They're like, what? And I'm like, we're doing a Zoom time cleanup. And they'll be annoyed. They'll be annoyed. They're annoyed every time. But I'm like, this is not my stuff. We have 10 minutes. Your stuff plus 10. They know what that means, and it works real well. I mean, it's fast. Because they want to get back to what they were doing, but they recognize, because we set it as a boundary as a family, that everybody helps clean up, right? And so I'll say, your stuff plus 10 if it's a lot. Like when we had littler kids, there'd be blocks all over. There was toy bins strewn. It would be so messy sometimes. So I'd say your stuff plus 10. So they do everything that belongs to them. and then 10 other things, because they could see that, like, obviously the 18-month-old is not going to clean up 300 mega blocks, like, really. And whatever was left after the Zoom time, I call them Zoom time cleanups. The kids know that it's as fast or slow as they want it to be, but sometimes it's your stuff plus 3. Sometimes I can see it's only their stuff. I'm like, hey, your stuff, just get your stuff put away, whatever you did. Look around the house. I see Grant's socks. I see Ava's blanket, and I'll point out a few things, and they're like, okay. They'll do it so fast and get back to what they're doing, sometimes in a minute. The younger ones, it'll take a little bit of time, and I'll help them because this is my goal, right? It's my goal to have the house clean, so I will help. And when it's, your stuff plus 10, and once they're all done, I do the rest. And usually it takes me less than like 3 minutes to just kind of zoom around. I call it my Zoom time cleanup, and I just zoom around and straighten stuff. And through the summer, we do that almost nightly. It's usually when we're gathering for prayer. We do family prayer at night. I say, guys, this house, we're not going to bed like this. Let's put the house to bed. I started using that language, and the kids actually like it. I say, let's put the house to bed. Your stuff plus 10. Somebody check the garage door. Somebody make sure all the doors are locked upstairs. Like, I do this stuff now. The kids are older, right? And they love it. Let's put the house to bed. And now, like, even my daughter comes home late. She's 18, going out, on dates or dances or whatever. And she's like, Mom, I put the house to bed. And I now know what that means. Like, she's locked all the doors. She checked, make sure the garage was shut. Like, these little things we do to put the house to bed. And it's worked really well because that relates to them, right? I'm putting myself to bed. We have these nightly routines, and that works really, really well. So as far as the messes, sometimes a midday cleanup, and then again at the night, it can be really fast. And give yourself a lot of grace for some of these new systems, new ideas. But when they were even very young, they could do this, and it worked really well. And they loved it. We could create a game. We'd set a timer. Who can do it before it times out? And if everything's done before the timer goes off, we all get to have a scoop of ice cream. And I take a little scoop and put it in a cup, and just like, guys, this doesn't have to be, ice cream night, but that works really well to get them in this habit. So over time, they know what a Zoom time cleanup. Breakfast and snack and lunch ideas. So one of the things that I've taught my kids, and this was something I taught in a family council, I would say, hey, I know snacks are fun. I desire for you guys to have healthy bodies so that we're not down with sickness a lot. And you guys, if you get a cut or something, you can heal really well. And I've learned about nutrition, and this is how protein works. This is how live foods work. They actually work together to give you guys good energy and immunity. So snack time is proteins, and then we're going to have live foods. I call them live foods. And I've taught my kids what that is. Like, a dead food usually comes in a package, and it has to be packaged because otherwise it gets gross. like chips getting stale, or anyway, however you're going to teach your kids this. I call it proteins and live foods. And for many years, we actually had a list on our refrigerator, and I printed it out on my computer, and we had red was the proteins, green was the live foods. And every time it was snack time, they picked something off that list. And I wanted them to pick a protein and a live food, because I know from my nutrition training, that is the best. That will keep them full, that satiates them, like all of those things. So on the protein list, I also included things that were high fat. So we had cheese, string cheese. I eat Greek full fat, whole milk yogurt, peanut butter, like nut butters. I'm trying to think of lunch meats. We buy little meat sticks. Just these different, and I even have protein powder. They can make a smoothie if they want. And then I have all the live foods. And that was like carrot sticks, celery sticks, apples, peaches, pears, right? The things that they can take a piece of fruit and have easily, a banana. And I was just at snack times, like, pick one from each list, and I would keep those items stocked. So and then another thing that I do over the summer is we don't use cups out of the cupboard. This is so great. Like, if you guys haven't done this, get water bottles, get fun ones, buy them water bottle stickers, whatever works, but just I even went a summer and we had tape, and I put each of their names on a piece of tape at the edge of we have like a bar that kind of comes out, and their water bottles sat where their name was. And that's what they drank out of all day. When we went somewhere, they grabbed their water bottle and it went right back where their name was on the counter on a piece of tape. Like, they didn't get cups out of the cupboard. That was so great, you guys. It was so great. Water bottles. Like, and it helps that that's what I do, guys. Your kids are watching you. But it is awesome to not do cups in the summer, or they're like a million cups by the end of the day. So I'm like, no. Everyone has their water bottle, they put their name on it, they design it, it goes in their spot, and that is what they drink out of for breakfast, lunch, dinner. Like, this is what they're doing. You might need 2 water bottles per person if you're not up to, we have a schedule where the dishes get done every single day. I know that's not everyone's story. So that's another little tip that has simplified things. For breakfasts, we do a lot of, like I said, I keep yogurt, like the big tub of yogurt, and they have like yogurt and granola. We do cereal. I'm not opposed to cereal, and Cheerios and mini wheats are the things I keep on hand a lot. They're low sugar, high fiber. And then egg and sausage sandwiches, and you can pre-make these and wrap them in like parchment paper and freeze them in foil or whatever. They stay really great. They microwave up easy for your kids. If you have older kids, for sure, they might prefer something like that. And then oatmeal. I've taught my kids how to make oatmeal from scratch. Like, even my little one knows how to like put the water in. My little one is 6, so that's the age I'm talking about. And she can microwave her own oatmeal, and they like to add their own additions. They add, a few chocolate chips or some peanut butter or whatever, and they make their own oatmeal. I don't say everyone has to have this thing all summer. It's very much, you have what you're going to have. During the school year, they have the same thing every morning. Everyone eats the same. But in the summer, we don't. It's very much, I keep these certain things stocked. And when I go shopping once a week, I look at what's low and I'll buy that thing. And we're at a place in my life now financially where I actually buy the ham and egg sausage sandwiches like at Sam's Club, and the kids love that. They love them. For easy lunches, we do a lot of tortillas. They'll spread it with Nutella and fruit and whatever, or peanut butter and fruit. They'll do hummus with meat and some spinach leaves, and they roll it up and they go back outside with their friends. It's very much about what can they take easily. I keep a lot, it's that fresh fruit and the cut veggies too. I spend the money to buy the nice, mini carrots and the pre-cut stuff a lot, because they'll just take it and go and take it and go. And I love that a lot. They love like the carrot chips and crackers and hummus, stuff they can do themselves and take it outside really fast. And honestly, I do a lot of paper plates. Nobody wants to be doing dishes. I do a lot of paper plates. I've moved into trying to do, more compostable, and stuff that will break down and whatever. That helps a lot with just the dishes and the pile up that can come when you've got people eating multiple times a day. So the one with, somebody asked about a toddler and newborn schedule. And what I did when I had the newborn a couple of summers, I mean, it's not so far removed from me, right? Just 5 years ago. But I learned to make a clock. Like, I went to the store, like even like a cheap store, like, Big Lots or whatever. And I'd get this clock that had a white background, not a digital clock. And I would color different sections. And I'd have this clock in their room or in the kitchen or whatever, or 2 of them, because I was having a problem with a child that would get up and be like, is it morning? And it was like 4 a.m. So I made this clock that had a green zone. I'd say, if this, piece of metal, they didn't know what a clock hand was, but like, if this is in this green area, you can get up. If it's in the red area, it's still bedtime. And they're like, oh, okay. So that helped them. They don't have to tell time to know when to get out of bed. So if you have you're really struggling with this toddler needs to know when it's time for whatever, you could get a little clock that, it's blue when it's time for him to go have a snack, or it's green when it's time for quiet time. And he can see when that's going to end and he can watch. It's he, because I know the woman that asked this, and her, 3-year-old is a boy. But that was something that helped us a lot when the kids couldn't tell time, but there was other kids that could. And we loved our schedule, because with a bigger family, there's people coming and going. That was something that helped. I mean, you can also drop all of the structure and just say, whatever happens in the day, happens in the day. But I have found a lot of moms will feel very reactive doing that. They don't have an intention with themselves, and they feel very burned out. They feel they've wasted time and money. They have a lot of guilt and fear and scarcity when there isn't some type of boundaries and structure. And all human psychological studies tell us that boundaries and structure promote safety and security, which promotes you able to grow. When you're in an environment where you're not safe, you're not secure, and you have fear all the time, it's hard to grow. It's hard to accept possibility and capability. It's just science, you guys. This isn't philosophy. Like, this is proven. Children that lived in a very scary environment, they didn't feel secure. They didn't grow and develop the same as kids that had the boundaries, had the structure. They felt safe. They knew what to expect. And so their brain didn't have to worry about getting their needs met. They knew their needs would be met, so they could explore doing better on their spelling test. They could explore trying harder on their math test, because they're not starving, because they know when they get home, there's going to be food. Like, are you hearing me on this? Some people are like, oh, not structure. You don't have to be so structured to have every minute, but have some type of plan, because this does promote safety and security in our children, to where they don't have to wonder if their needs are going to be met on a physical level. And if they know their needs will be met, when it's green, that's when I'm going to get some food. And when it's brown, that's when we go to dinner. I don't know what's going to be for you guys, but like having a schedule in our fridge, showing my kids they will have dinner every day. We will have playtime every day. It has allowed them to be free. They can go and play and pretend and do different stuff, because they're not worried if their needs are going to be met. I know that sounds like, shouldn't they just know? No, they're a human being with a body that will tell them, based on their experiences, if they're safe and fed and known and aware of. Is my mom present? Is she aware of my sadness in this moment? Is she aware of my accomplishment I just made? One of our, Maslow's hierarchy of needs is belonging. When we have these boundaries and when mom is present, those kids feel their needs being met. They will flourish. And when you stick to the boundaries as well, they'll respect you. People say, Robin, how do your kids listen to you? My kids do listen to me, but that has come with time. They didn't listen to me when they were very young, like in my older, I refer to my old life, right? Before I started all this work. But when I respect my time and I respect my presence, my kids do too. I've noticed that. Like, anyone else have like evidence of this? Like, the longer I'm present, the longer I stick to my boundaries, they respect that. And they start to respect themselves as well. I hear them saying things to their friends like, oh, I would really love to do that. I'm doing this right now. Can you give me 15 minutes? What a beautiful thing. That means that sometime they're modeled this idea, right? Hey, I would love to see you play soccer with your friend. I'm reading a book right now. In 15 minutes, I'll be outside, and I honor it. Then they start honoring it too. So it's no longer a fight, because they believe me. When I say we're leaving in 5 minutes, they know that we will. When I say we will go to the park at 10:30, they know that we will. They have complete trust, because I've stuck to my guns. A lot of parents are afraid of sticking to their boundaries. Like, my kids are going to think actually, they'll fight back initially if it hasn't been their norm, but it does bring them more safety. It does bring them that trust with you. And if you want teenagers that are going to trust you with important information, start now, my friends. Start now. They will come to you. They will trust you. And you've shown that you trust yourself. How you model yourself is so important. It is not selfish at all to take boundaries for yourself, to put yourself on the budget. The kids need to be modeled how to take care of themselves. So put yourself on the budget. do these tips. It sounds like you guys are liking this information. I'm so glad. It's one of our longer classes, but there's a lot to cover when you're shifting from a reactive 3 months to how do I shift this? There's a lot involved. So we have 3 minutes to the hour. I'd like to be done at the hour. Anybody have last comments, questions, so we can go? You guys can enjoy your weekend. The other thing too, with the mom that has the newborn, or any other hard situation, maybe you have a special needs child, maybe you know, your schedule is really different because of you or your spouse's work. Guys, don't get so caught up in what you've seen as appropriate. If you guys are having frosted mini wheats for dinner every day in the summer, you're going to live. If you guys are doing crafts at 6 p.m. instead of 11 a.m., who cares? Like, allow yourself some breathing room, take off the pressure of what you think is appropriate or what's normal, and think, what's best for us? What's best for me? What's best for this child? If they are really high functioning at 3 p.m. and morning is hard, let morning be their quiet time. Let them watch their few episodes from 9 to 10 or whatever. And then do a more structured activity in the afternoon. Like, let it work for you guys. Let it work for them. What about saying we're leaving the house in 5 minutes, but waiting on them because you can't leave without them? Okay, I'm going to tell you this really quick. We did an experiment where we had a child that was always like, he would just sit there. And so I told my neighbor, I said, and I can do this because generally our life is really safe, right? My kid knows that I love him and all of these things. This is not abuse. But I told my neighbor, I said, look, we're leaving to the park and I want to teach my son a lesson. And he was like 6. And I told her, I said, he often takes too long. I want to leave without him. I'm actually just going to go park around the corner. And he's probably going to come out and cry and be sad, but I want to teach him that when I'm leaving, I actually am. And she was like, okay, what do you want me to do? And I was like, just be aware. I don't want you to freak out that my kid is crying outside like I left him. Just know that I'm actually teaching him a lesson. And she was like, fair enough. So no one else was home in the neighborhood at that time that I'm aware of, but I actually left without him. And he was so distraught, like so distraught. And I left for a good like 10, 15 minutes. And I went to a spot where I could kind of see my house. And he just sat on the curb and cried. And then I drove back and I pretended that I forgot something. And I was like, oh man, I forgot my purse. And I looked and I said, oh, you look so sad. So anyway, that was the last time that he wasn't ready when I said we were leaving, because I actually left without him. So there may be times when you can set up a scenario to teach your kid that you're actually like, this is what I'm doing. And if it's more of a situation where it's a sensory child, they can't go, they have actual then that's something where it's different, where you have maybe a bag that's packed with their shoes, their water bottle, their thing. You grab it, you pick up the child and you go. You know what I mean? That's what I've done. And my kids, everyone's in the car. We don't have that issue. I see parents that have that issue, but a lot of it is training. They just never did leave without them, or they never just picked them up and went when it was time, to where they just know that's what they're going to do. So it can take practice. All of these things can take practice. But those are my tips for the summer. These are my tips for the summer. I love this question, Christy. And you can even message me later about some of the resources that actual experiment that I did with my son, actually leaving him, I learned in a Love and Logic class. I was like, oh, I took a Love and Logic course for parenting, and I have used their systems for all my kids, and it so far has worked really well as far as my kids being responsible and responsive and all of those things. So highly recommend Love and Logic for parenting ideas and ways of doing things. All right. Awesome class, you guys. Awesome class. We're going to take off. We're going to enjoy our weekend. We'll see you guys next week. Let me know what helped the very most. And we will see you guys later.